1080. Make that shit 1080. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, so it's got good mix there. Probably that needs to be here in a sense. That's about everything there. Good morning or good afternoon, ladies and gents. This is your boy Cupcake here, back at it again over at Altopolis. Testing. Testing, testing. Good evening, folks. It's your boy Cupcake here, and oh, hold on here. Oh my lord, I had to restart that. But good evening, everybody. It's your boy RWB Cupcake here, back at it. Or actually, I should say, finally back in the commentator's seat. Let me turn that off. It's been a long while, folks, since I've broadcasted and hosted a... it's been a while since I've hosted a GTC lobby, so very excited about that tonight. We are in for a treat. We are over at the Autopolis Speedway, and if you see this sexy ride here at the front, we're using the Group 4 Toyota Supra. And all drivers will be using that car. So it'll be a one-make race. It will be a race of skill, patience, because I have got intel that this race is going to consist of mainly managing tires. I've got word from a few drivers and a few other staff members here that, you know, fuel's not going to be an issue, but they're really going to have to save those racing softs. So it's going to be an exciting race. Let's take a look at the starting roster here that we have. I know it's a little bit funky here. I had to try and figure out what pictures to use. So starting in pole position will be RWB Little Mac, followed by Tommy Moon, which I did get word he will not be racing, so TCU Frogs will be starting second, Turbo will be third, Carbon Boy fourth, Venom 5th, HPR 82 is 6th, Buck Nasty, who is now with RWB, will be starting in 7th. Wooly will be starting in 8th. Apex Tattooed will be 9th. Nutson is 10th. The Truth Serum will be 11th. Rusty Magus 12th. Roses in 13th. So the way that this series works is it's a 90-minute endurance. It involves heavy damage. So if you get any kind of damage at all, the only way you can fix it is if you get to the pits to repair said damage. You're only allowed 2 sets of tires, racing softs, racing mediums. fuel will be at ×2 consumption, so not really too much of a concern for this race. Your pit window, what this is starting from the 50-minute mark, which you will see on the right side of the screen. You'll see a countdown, or I think it's on top now. Either way, from the 50-minute mark to the 40-minute mark, so essentially a 10-minute window, you can pit for tires or fuel. Any other time you cannot do that. If you do, it is a very harsh penalty. But if you do get damaged, you can pit outside of that window, but that's only for damage. So you can see the series rules. We have the rules posted on our Discord and on gtchampions.com. And drivers, you know, if they have any kind of incidents, they have 24 hours to report it. So with that being said, let's get over to the live race here. And let me switch it over to the PlayStation. Give me just a sec here. I had to do some jerry-rigging. Because my capture card decided to take a poop. So I will have the stream on my phone as well. That way I can see any kind of comments that you guys are, you know, posting on the live stream. So, if anybody on here is watching, please say hi. You know, I'd love to chat during this 90-minute race. So let's take a look here. We're going to share that. We're going to copy the link. And everything's looking good. I am impressed. So I will go to the live chat. Anybody on here, please say hello. And let me ask you something. Who do you think's gonna win in this exciting race? Because as you can see here, we're starting right at the crack of dawn. And we are currently on board with TCU Frogs. Let me do this here. Alright, we did get word it is 10 minutes to the race, so we are on board with TCU Frogs 777. We're just going to take a quick lap around Autopolis. As you can tell, it's going to be interesting, especially with it starting, you know, right at the crack of dawn, early morning, still a little bit dark. So it is going to create an issue. Speaking of issues, I need to get rid of this music. Good lord. We'll just turn that off. There we go. Now you guys can probably hear me better. But as you can see here, it's going to make it really hard for these drivers to judge where they need to brake, where to hit that apex at, you know, at the very beginning of the race. But as the race goes on, it's going to get a little bit lighter, or actually I should say it's going to get a lot lighter. It'll turn eventually all daylight, and we'll definitely see some bumper-to-bumper racing. But as you can tell here, if you do look on the outside of the turns, you do got a little bit of loose gravel. That can throw you in for a little bit of a ride, in a sense. And there's a lot of grass here around this track, so... Okay, no dip, Sherlock. You know, there's a lot of grass. I say that for a reason. I've been at this track before, I've raced it. If you go into that grass, you're gonna go for a long ride. This section up here, I believe this is about the 3rd sector. You miss this mark right here, you are going into the sand. You might as well start making sandcastles at that point, because you're not getting out anytime soon. This sector here usually can get a little bit tricky. As you can see there, TCU Frogs is he just nailed that sector. So that is essentially a lap at Autopolis. So let's see, well, we can't really see any kind of liveries. Woolly, So far we got some really good liveries here. from all sorts of different teams. Higginbotham, or Venom, I should say. Why is this music still going? Play race BGM off. Other BGM. We'll put that one at 4. We'll turn that on. Okay, there we go. And then nicknames. I'll tell you what, they do not make this easy at all. But we are looking at Wooly here, part of Amigos Racing Team. Just everybody's pretty much getting their warm up. You know, turning a couple laps, trying to get loosened up for the race. And obviously, you know, I would go and judge the liveries. But you kind of can't see them at the moment. Venom, HPR, Little Mac, Tattooed, The Truth, Rusty Maggots, Roses, Mo Paralysis. Mo Paralysis. Mo Paralysis. How do you say that name? Oh my gosh. But we should be pretty close to the start time here. And if anybody is watching here, if y'all don't mind, I could use a audio check real quick just to make sure y'all could hear my glorious, seductive, commentating voice. Huh. And just because of that, I lost a viewer. That's not good. Alright, you guys I can't describe to everybody how excited I am to finally be back in the commentating seat. Because I'll be honest, recently I've gotten a little bit burnt out with racing. I just, you know, a couple years ago I just was on GT Sport all day, every day, didn't care. And now I'm just, you know, I guess life went on and I just kind of got burnt out, but that's besides the point. The fact that I get to come in here and commentate a race and talk to everybody that is, you know, viewing the stream is just awesome. Very happy. And there's that music. I can't seem to get away from the music, but I don't know what in the heck. This is probably one of GT7's many famous glitches. So we'll just go ahead and turn you off. We'll not play any kind of music. No music. Y'all see this? My word. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. But yeah, it is a pleasure to be back and commentating. Point of the matter. Now I've got no sound. What in the heck? That's off. That's on. Okay, something is not right. Alright, let's take you out. Let's take that out. Play race background music. We're gonna take that off. We're gonna turn that off. And did that fix it? Alright. Okay, now we're back in business. Tell you what, this stuff's getting real finicky now. Real finicky, but it's gonna be about a couple minutes. Yep, 2 minutes until the race starts. I'm gonna make sure I got all my drinks and snacks and whatever you want to call it. And we'll be back here in just a minute. And I do see a few people have joined the stream. If you're watching this, please send us a message or comment on this YouTube video. Say hi. Tell me who you think who you think's gonna win. And let's chat while this race is going on, folks. If you're just now tuning into this stream here, this is GTC 2. It's Division 2 of the GT Champions World Cup Season 4, Race 5. Over here at Altopolis. And as we're watching Carbon Boy, race is starting. Hello, ladies and gents. Let me take that off of there. Uh-oh. And we are off. That was kind of a funky start there. We are in our formation lap. So what this essentially is a GT7 for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't even think they have a system to where you can set the grid manually. So what we've implemented this season is what's called a formation lap. So the drivers are going to go around this track for one lap. They're going to get the tires warmed up, and they're going to get in their respective order. So by the time they hit that front straight, they should be in line. And once they cross the line, it's game on. Now, the thing is also, with the first lap, obviously after this formation lap, if 2 cars or more wreck within the first racing lap, it is a red flag. I believe we had 3 tries at it. Third try, if we're still having problems, the race goes on. And it's just kind of a way of saying, well, you should have been a little bit cleaner there, maybe less aggressive. So we got Little Mac in first, Carbon Boy, well, we're going to have Turbo. But look at all these wonderful liveries. And for some reason, let's see, can I display all? Will that do anything? Okay. That is not going to display the countdown, so that's a bit odd. Everybody just kind of lining up, like I said, getting the tires warmed up, getting everything set, making sure their fuel mat settings are right. I don't believe they have brake balance in this series also. So it looks to me like everybody is in their respective positions. Chad Young saying, is that Squirmy I hear doing comms? It is not, it's your boy RWB Cupcake. One of the admins of RWB Racing and one of the founding members of GT Champions. But Chad Young, nice to see you in the stream. Hope you enjoy it, because I'm looking forward to it. As we're getting to the front stretch, we got Little Mac, Paralysis, Turbo, Carbon Boy, Venom, HPR 82, Buck Nasty, Wooly, Tattooed, Maggots, Roses, and they are off. Little Mac getting a really good jump there, but Paralysis just got a wonderful jump at the start as well. Let's see if we got any kind of collisions here going on. We are looking good, ladies and gents. Let's take a look inside of one of the cars here. We'll go on board with Rusty Maggot. And look at that. Look at this gaggle of cars ahead of them and behind them. Running in 9th position here at the very first lap. And we will go up to Little Mac here, still holding first place by less than half a second. Paralysis is right on his doorstep, 0.3 seconds behind. And we have our background music again. I believe that is just a glitch on GT7's part. I have messed with the settings, but look at Paralysis. Looks like he was going to try and sneak in the inside of the corner there to get past Little Mac. Not gonna work. Turbo running in 3rd place right now with a decent gap between himself and Venom at 0.6 of a second. Venom and Carbon Boy about 1.5 seconds gap. And then Carbon Boy, he's about 0.7 of a second, about 0.8 actually ahead of Tattooed Freak. Tattooed Freak, meanwhile, is probably getting freaked out by the amount of cars behind him. He's got HPR, Rusty Maggots, Art Wooly, Roses, The Truth, all right behind him, looking for that 6th position. Let's go on board with Tattooed here, and just see the amount of cars right behind him that are looking to get into that 6th place position. And Buck Nasty getting a little bit loose there, managing to hold on. So that is our first lap. We do have a lead change here. Paralysis, RWB, Little Mac, they are duking it out for first place already. 2nd lap, they are side by side. Let's go on board with Paralysis. And look at that. Little Mac right behind him. Ooh, getting a little bit of a nudge there by Little Mac. Not sure what happened there, but it did cause Little Mac to drop behind to almost a second from Paralysis. Meanwhile, that's going to give Turbo and Venom a chance to move up into 2nd place. With Turbo being just over a second behind Little Mac. And Venom, meanwhile, is only about 0.2, less than 0.2 of a second back from Turbo. And looking at this here, Chad Young say Cupcake, it's Badass 350. Hey, what's good, Badass? Nice to see you, buddy. I enjoy your guys' team over at Apex. If you're watching this, dude, let me know what you think. Right now, I'm trying to keep eyes on all of the freaking battles we have going on here. Everybody is staying really tight for the most part. Something seemed to happen to Tattooed Freak. I did not catch what it was, but he has dropped back 9 seconds. Getting into the grass there, he's not... Okay. Good, good, good. Thought he was gonna get lost in the sauce there. There's that. But look how close these cars are to each other. I mean, good lord, from 4th place all the way back to 12th or 11th. But let's take a look here. Mo Paralysis already has a healthy lead over Little Mac. 2.5 seconds ahead of Little Mac. Meanwhile, Turbo is only about a second. Actually, looks to me like he's starting to gain on Little Mac there. Was a second of a gap, now down to 0.75 seconds of a gap. Higginbotham is still right on Turbo's heels. We'll go on board with Venom, I should say. And as you can tell, it is starting to get a little bit brighter, obviously. Venom doing a really good job of just maintaining his pace and making sure that he does have Turbo in his sights, and more importantly, in his slipstream. Because one thing I will say with a slipstream is if you're, I think it's 0.750 seconds away, you're going to lose that draft. You're going to lose that slipstream. So you want to be closer. You want to be like 0.749 of a second. And up or down to stay in that draft, stay in that slipstream. So Venom doing a really good job of holding that. Now let's take a look here at some of the other drivers. Let's see if we can spot anything. Ooh, side by side, we got a battle here for 6th place. HPR 82. Oh, Buck Nasty going buck wild on HPR 82. And who does he have? Oh, he's got Rusty Maggots, he's got Roses, he's got The Truth. And who is... excuse me. And who is that right behind him? Wooly. So we've got every bit... Hey, let's see, it's been a long day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-car battle for 6th place. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 cars. Nope, 6 cars. 6 cars. And let me tell you something. We'll go to HPR right now. He's about 9.5 seconds back from the leader, who is still Mo Paralysis. So 9.7. Let's take a look here. Okay, about a 4-second gap, roughly. That's that Ohio Hillbilly math for you. So, 4-second gap between 11th place and 6th, consisting of, you know, Wooly being 11th, The Truth 10th, Rusty 9th, Roses 8th, Buck Nasty 7th, HPR 6th, and now we got Carbon Boy in the mix. Or, well, no, I thought we had Carbon Boy in the mix. But look at all these cars. They are just going at it. We're only 10 minutes into the race. And they're still keeping, you know, a very tight group, I should say. So it is definitely impressive to see. But you know what's more impressive is Mo Paralysis sitting high and mighty in 1st place. Got about almost a 4.5 second gap to Little Mac. Little Mac, meanwhile, has got Turbo all up in him. You know, all up in his rear bumper. Being only 0.6 of a second away. Venom, meanwhile, still kind of just hanging out. I don't think Venom's in too much of a rush at the moment. Is the usage of your tires, not the fuel. The fuel you can do really easy, or actually I'll just say it like this, my mind's just going a million miles an hour. The fuel you can, let's say, easily manage at this track. It's the tires. Like I said, the softs, they do tend to wear extremely easy at this track, extremely quick, as opposed to the mediums. So I'll be honest with you, I have no clue what tires they were running right now, so I couldn't tell you. And I think that adds to the stream, I should say. So, Carbon Boy, HPR 82, Buck Nasty going Buck Wild, Apex Roses, all up in Buck Nasty's business. Let's ride on board with Roses here and see if he's going to make any kind of moves. And Rose is going to try and go for the inside. Is it going to work? No. Gets a little bit loose. Manages to save it. But he is all over Buck Nasty. He's dying for that 7th position. Let's see if anything's going to happen here. Coming up, you know, back to the first turn. That sharp right-hander. A lot of times, a lot of these drivers, they'll use that first turn as a chance to, you know, outbrake somebody, try and get that undercut, overcut, you know, pass inside, outside, do it for Dale. And as we can tell there, Apex Rose clearly did do it for Dale, so he is now in 7th place. Meanwhile, let's take a look at HPR and Carbon Boy battling it out for the top 5 position, only 13 minutes in. Let's see, is HPR going to do anything? He's all up Carbon Boy's carbon bumper. Carbon Boy doing a really good job there defending the inside line of that that hairpin or sweeping right-hander. Like I said, folks, it's been a while since I broadcasted. HPR getting into the grass a little bit, not going to lose really any time to Carbon Boy. HPR clearly looks like he could outbreak Carbon Boy. I'm really curious to see how this is going to work. Let's go to Carbon Boy here. And let's just take a look at the back of his car. And as you can tell, HPR is just really trying hard to get to that 5th position. But while they're fighting, Apex Rose is going to come into the mix. So it's going to be every bit a 3-way battle for 5th position. Speaking of which, I wonder if we got any kind of battle. Ooh, excuse me. I wonder if we got any kind of battles here going on for 2nd, which we do. So we have Venom, Turbo, and Little Max. So 7.2, 8.6. Okay, so about a 1.4 second gap between 2nd place and 4th place. Turbo, meanwhile, is only about half a second back from Little Mac, who's currently every bit 7.7 seconds back from Mo Paralysis. What is it? Mo Paralysis? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out that how to pronounce that name. I think I'm just going to start calling them Paralysis. But check this out. So, Little Mac now has about 0.4 of a second gap between him and Turbo. And Venom's every bit 0.3 of a second back from Turbo. So let's see how this is going to work out. Trying to figure out who we should have eyes on at the moment. Yeah, let's ride along with Turbo. So we are showing the interior of the car there. I love this camera angle, by the way, for GT7. This is one thing that I think they hit absolutely out of the park. It was a home run, slam dunk, touchdown, whatever sport you like, it's the scoring run, drive, hit, you know. But besides that, so Turbo is still trying to hunt down Little Mac. It's like he gets real close, but that last sector of the track, oh, Little Mac gets it to the grass, hits the wall, is gonna drop down into 4th place. So that means Venom and Turbo will be taking 3rd and 2nd respectively. Meanwhile, Little Mac looks to be having a little bit of issues there. Yeah, getting into the grass, that's going to cause him to drop back even farther. He's now going to be 3 seconds behind Venom and Turbo. Turbo, meanwhile, is battling it out, I should say, hard with Venom for that 2nd place position. Venom, meanwhile, is, I think Venom's trying to play it smart. I don't think he wants to make any kind of sudden moves or aggressive moves. Not until at least, you know, maybe the halfway point or towards the end of the race. Honestly, if I was Turbo right now, I would try to be as calm as possible, defend that inside line, which he, you know, honestly kind of did. Wasn't the best, but it worked. And, I mean, if Venom was to pass you, use the draft, use the slipstream to your advantage. Save that fuel, save a little bit of tire wear. Mo Paralysis, by the way, has set a fastest lap of 153.3. A blistering lap. And we'll go on board here with Venom, as he is currently sitting in 3rd position. Only about half a second back from Turbo, so not too hateful. Still definitely within that slipstream, as you can tell by the interval on the left-hand side. He is gaining. He is every bit 0.2 of a second away from Turbo. So let's see what's going to happen here. Venom's going to try to take the inside line. Does he come out of the corner faster? No. Not really. They're kind of dead center with their lap time, come to think of it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, their last lap, they were separated by 0.004. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see how all that's going to play out towards the end, since they're running such similar lap times. Venom's fastest lap was a 154.567. Turbo, he's got the edge as far as fastest lap goes. He's got a 154.4, so he's about 0.2 of a second faster than Venom. But consistency is the name of the game in this series of the World Cup. You know, you want to be aggressive, but you don't want to be aggressive to the point where you're putting, you know, the car at risk and the other racers at risk. I know everybody's thinking, oh, well, it's a video game, how can you do that? Well, it's heavy damage. So if you bump into someone or someone bumps into you, you know, you got some damage to deal with. You could have wheel damage to where the car's not going to turn right. You could have engine damage, reduces the power. So things like that, these drivers have to keep in mind when it comes to racing in this series. When can I pass? When can I defend? Where can I pass? Where can I defend? You know, obviously. So, Venom clearly had the faster lap. Not by much. Maybe by like 0.04 of a second. Turbo. Ooh, Turbo! Overshot the first turn and has spun out. That's going to give Little Mac 3rd position. And Venom 2nd. That is not good. Not good, folks. So let's go down the grid here real quick. So we got Mo Paralysis with a 12.8 second gap between himself and Venom. Venom running a very comfortable 2nd place. 5 seconds ahead of Little Mac. Little Mac, meanwhile, has a bouquet of roses to deal with behind him. He was about 0.7 of a second back. Roses, meanwhile, running in 4th position. Still got a pretty good gap behind him, with HPR 82 running in 5th position. They're separated by about 2.5 seconds, maybe a little bit more. HPR has a whole lot of carbon behind him. And we got Buck Nasty running in 7th position, going buck wild. And then Wooly is trying to pull the wool over Buck Nasty's eyes and wants to get past him for his 7th position. And we got the Truth Serum. He's trying to spread the truth by passing all the other drivers and trying to get into that coveted 1st position. He's about 1.2 seconds back from Wooly. We got the French Turbo, I think, Turbo, running in 10th position. Did have that incident there where he had overshot the 1st turn, ended up in the grass and the sand. We got Rusty Maggots running in 11th position, Tattooed in 12th, trying to tattoo his position onto his arm of it being 1st place. And I'm probably going to lose my commentating job after all of those horrible puns. So, hashtag no regrets. But let's take a look. Let's see if we got any good battles here. So we do have a 3-way battle for 5th position between HPR, Carbon Boy, and Buck Nasty. And we're gonna look here. Buck Nasty currently is currently on a purple lap. Let's get on board with Buck Nasty here. Let's see what we got going on. So we're in the interior view, or cockpit view. He's gonna try to shoot on the outside and pass Carbon Boy. That is not gonna work, kind sir. But he's still only about 4/10 of a second, or actually seems to be a little bit more. 6/10 of a second back from Carbon Boy. Carbon Boy, meanwhile, he has pulled back. Looks to be about a second. Let's see if he gains any kind of time here after this turn. Gained roughly about 1/10 of a second. I mean, that was a good exit there from Carbon Boy. And then, oh yeah, we got a battle for 3rd here between Roses and Little Mac. Little Mac trying to do everything he can to defend that 3rd position, trying to defend the inside lines. And taking a look here. He is going to get side by side with Little Mac. He is going to have the inside line, folks. Let's see how well this works out. Oh, is he going to overshoot the corner? He is not, but manages to get past Little Mac there pretty easily, to be honest with you. So what a move by Roses for 3rd position. But Little Mac is not going to have any of that. But enough of that. We got some other battles here, I think, to deal with. Looks to be a battle for 8th place between Wooly and the Truth. The Truth looks to be about 3/10 of a second behind Wooly. Meanwhile, Wooly's just doing what Wooly does best, and that is defending all the lines. Trying to defend the inside lines. You know, make sure the whole track's covered, I should say. You know, not really giving the Truth any kind of room there to make any kind of route, or oh my gosh, any kind of room to make any kind of move. So, you know, I know he says, you know, this is the Truth Serum. I think Wooly is feeding a bunch of lies to the Truth, and that ain't good. You know, making the Truth, oh, you think, you know, oh yeah, you could probably pass me here, psych. You know, I bet it's probably frustrating Truth there a little bit. Meanwhile, Buck Nasty's still going buck wild. Sitting in 7th position, about 2 seconds, just under 2 seconds back for Carbon Boy. And do we have anything else going on at the moment? No paralysis. Running constant 153s and 154s. Doing a really good job there of staying consistent with the lap times. Meanwhile, Venom still doing a very good job. He's averaging anywhere from 154 to 155. Let's take a look at Rose's 154 and 155. Little Mac running 154, 155, but a little bit of 156. So not as consistent, but still pretty quick. Enough to keep up with Rose's. Did I see Rose? Okay, hit a little bit of grass there. Nothing terrible. HPR 82 running 55, 56. Carbon Boy 55, 56. 157 in the mix. Buck Nasty 155. Oh, actually 154, 55, 56. Wooly running 54, 55, 56. They're all running pretty consistent lap times for the most part. And if you're trying to figure out where I'm getting this kind of information from, if you look at the right hand side below the track outline, you'll see all their lap times. So I'm essentially just trying to see if they're staying consistent or not. And it looks to me like everyone's staying consistent for the most part. So do we have any other battles going on? Rose is now 2 seconds ahead of Little Mac. HPR Carbon Boys still going. Well, actually, no, they weren't still going at it. This is a new battle. I was thinking of Buck Nasty. But Carbon Boy outside, what's going to happen here? Okay, Carbon Boy playing the smart move there. Not going to force HPR into any kind of sketchy situations. He's not going to force himself. Ooh, into the wall and into the grass he goes. And has dropped down into 9th position. So HPR getting lucky there. Now has a 2-second gap between himself and Buck Nasty. Buck Nasty still dealing with Wooly. Wooly being about 0.6 of a second behind Buck Nasty. And then the Truth Serum has dropped back a little bit, about 1.1 seconds behind Wooly. Carbon Boy is now about, I'd say roughly a second back from the Truth Serum. Really interested about this battle here between Buck Nasty and Wooly. Let's go on board with Wooly here and see what's going on. Because Wooly's still in that situation where he can catch up to him in certain sectors, but you know, whatever time he gained, he lost in the last sector is what I'm starting to see. But Wooly clearly getting a draft off of Buck Nasty. Is he gonna make any kind of moves here? I'm gonna try to go to the inside, but Buck Nasty would not allow it. Buck Nasty doing a really good job defending that inside line, preventing Wooly from making that pass into 6th position. So folks, we're at the 30-minute mark. So we got 10 more minutes until pit window opens. Buck Nasty going a little bit wide there. Can Wooly take advantage of the opportunity? Looks like he cannot. So Buck Nasty getting really, really lucky. Doing a really good job of defending, actually, I should say. Wooly is starting to get some speed here. What's going to happen? You know what? Let's go to Buck Nasty here. We'll go to a rooftop view. See what we got going on. So we are currently on board with Buck Nasty in the DeWalt car, running in 6th position. We are looking at Wooly. Wooly has been on Buck Nasty's heels for quite a few laps now, trying to get into that 6th position. The Truth Serum is right behind Wooly, so now we have a 3-car battle for 6th position. And is Wooly going to try and pull anything besides wool over Buck Nasty's eyes? I'm telling you, y'all messed up with your PSN names because I'm going to start the puns. But Buck Nasty going just a hair wide, but not wide enough to leave that inside line open. So doing a very good job there, still defending. Excuse me, a whole lot of talking here. Mode Paralysis is just currently in a world of his own. Still running in that 1st position. He's like 32 seconds ahead of 6th position. So, doing a very good job running his race. Now, the thing that I'm kind of concerned with is Mode Paralysis using soft tires or mediums. Because, like I said, I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever what these drivers are using as far as tires for this first stint. Buck Nasty keeping a very tight line there. We got a little bit of a battle there. I had to jump over to Wooly because it looks like the Truth is trying to challenge Wooly for 7th position. Let's see what happens. And we now have HPR2 in the mix. We got a 4-car battle for 5th position, folks. This right here has been an exciting race. We are 33 minutes into this race out of 90 minutes. So I'm going to ride on board with HPR 82 here. We're going to look and see if Buck Nasty's going to try any bucking moves. If you guys don't get that reference, there's a TikTok video. Oh, Buck Nasty getting it to the grass. Dropping down into 8th position. So that's going to allow HPR to stay in that 5th position. Wooly's going to be at 6th with the Truth in 7th. The Truth might be able to pass Wooly here. If he can get enough speed and maybe try to go for that inside line coming into the first turn. Let's see what happens. No, not gonna work. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, okay. So who do we have here? So, really no other battles going on at the moment. Mode Paralysis is every bit 17 seconds ahead of Venom at the moment. Venom, about 4 seconds ahead of Roses. Roses 4.5 ahead of Little Mac. Little Mac 6.7 seconds ahead of HPR. So this looks to be really the only major battle we have right now is between HPR, Wooly, and the Truth. Somebody's sliding. The Truth. Ooh. Came into that corner a little too hot there, homie. Alright. Ladies and gents, we are now 35 minutes into this race. Do need to take a couple minutes here to rest my lovely voice. If you're all just joining in, I will say welcome to the stream, welcome to the race. GT Champions World Cup Season 4 Race 5 at Autopolis. This is Division 2. If you're watching this stream, comment on the YouTube video, say hi. Love to chat with you guys. But before I do that, I am going to take just a quick break here, rest my voice for just a sec. I will be right back as we will remain on board with HPR as the battle for 5th position heats up. Alright, and I am back, ladies and gents. I do believe we have less than 30 seconds to go until pit window is open. So, while we're almost at the halfway mark, I do want to thank our sponsors for the GT Champions season. That being Detailing Group, Metropolis, Hypre, RWB Racing, and Credit the Dragon. They all do a great job of help sponsoring and creating these exciting events that drivers from all over the world can compete in. I mean, if you look at the roster right now, the driver roster, we have folks from the US, from Great Britain, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. I'm not good with those flags for some reason. Malaysia, which we're on board with. I believe that is Malaysia. I should really research this stuff before I commentate. So, people from all over the world get to compete in GT Champions. And it is just the coolest thing to see. Everybody is spaced out quite a bit. We do have that battle for 5th position that has been ongoing between HPR and Art Woolley. And the Truth Serum has dropped a little bit back. Mo Paralysis, who started on soft tires, is going in to change it to the mediums and fuel up. We do now have a battle for 8th position between Carbon Boy, Turbo, Tattooed. And we do have a live look here at Mo Paralysis. Currently in the pits. That's going to give Venom the lead position. And that's going to put Apex Roses in first. Or second, I'm sorry. Little Mac back into the third position. Mo Paralysis in fourth on the medium tires now. HPR is still in fifth. Order remains unchanged from fifth on down, from what I believe. But check out this battle here. Oh, we got Wooly in the pits. He had started on medium tires, as well as Buck Nasty. Both of them were in medium tires. Venom, meanwhile, still sitting in first position. And let's take a look here. Oh, I just got word about one of the driver cameras in GTC 3 or Division 3. That's pretty dope. So as we can tell here, Mo Paralysis has already gained over a second on Little Mac. Little Mac's still sitting in third position. Now, mind you, Mo Paralysis was the first one to pit. So, you still have Venom, Roses, and Little Mac that need to pit, fuel up, and change their tires. Let's go and look at Venom. Let's see if he's going to be pitting this lap. And it does not look to be. Neither is Roses. Little Mac, is he going to pit? We still have just under 7 minutes left of that pit window. He is not going to pit. Okay, so that's going to be pretty interesting. Mo Paralysis already gained half a second still. Larry Birch saying get him tattooed. And I agree. Tattooed. Just a little fun fact, he is the founder of Apex Racing. Very chill guy. I've raced with him. I've actually practiced with him before. Really cool dude to talk to and race with. Actually, all the people from Apex are really cool. Never had a problem with them. So, still taking a look at the battle for 5th. HPR, The Truth. I believe Wooly was running in 6th, but went ahead and pitted. So that's going to give The Truth a position up to where he can race HPR for that 5th spot in the race. And do I spy with my little eye a battle for 1st? I do, between Venom and Roses. So we're going to go on board with Roses here. We're going to take a look at what he is thinking, or what kind of moves he's going to make. And we're also going to see if they're going to pit, because they have now officially 5 minutes left of that pit window. Are they going to go one more lap? Looks like they are. Mo Paralysis did get the pass on Little Mac for 3rd position. That was to be expected. Mo Paralysis is on fresher tires, even though he is on mediums now. Little Mac going into the pits with the medium tires, so he will be changing into softs. Very good move there to pit right at the halfway mark. Try to get the most out of the softs. Try to save as much of the soft tires as he can. Carbon Boy going into the pits. Tattoo going into the pits. Carbon Boy, yep, just entered. Little Mac fueling up. Tattooed. Alright. So Little Mac coming out of the pits is going to be in 7th position. Okay. So let's take a look here. We now have a battle for 4th. but that was because Little Mac had pit. HPR and the Truth Serum have still yet to pit for tires and fuel. They now have 3.5 minutes to go. So they will have to pit after this lap, as well as Roses and Venom. Roses and Venom are really going at it here. Trying, you know, Roses trying to pass Venom for that first position. So let's take a look here. Let's see what's going on. And yep, just as I thought, Venom and Roses have entered the pits. They were on medium tires, so that's going to allow Mo Paralysis to jump back into the lead. Now, HPR... Ooh. That's interesting. HPR's going for one more lap. Apex Roses, meanwhile, jumps into third position. Venom in fourth. They have switched over to softs. HPR is going to be running in second place at the moment, but will have to pit regardless. The Truth, Rusty Maggots, they are now out of the pits, running in seventh, and looks to be... Oh, Rusty Maggots just went into the pits. That's going to make it interesting. Looks like Apex Tattooed is going to be passing Rusty Maggots for 10th position. But Nasty, will he go out into 11th? No. Yes. So we now have a battle between Turbo and Carbon Boy. And then Little Mac and Wooly. Wooly's about 0.5 of a second back from Little Mac, but ooh, gained one heck of an exit. Coming out into that turn, they are side by side. Art Wooly's gonna have the inside line. Let's see what's gonna happen here, folks. Is it enough to get the job done? It looks to me like it is. 5th position, Art Wooly. He had pulled the wool over Little Mac's eyes. Venom, meanwhile, running in 4th. Apex Rose is running in 3rd. HPR, let's see what's going to happen here. HPR is only going to have about 45 seconds to pit. So my eyes are going to be on him at the moment. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to work. Tires are changed. He is fueling up. 10 seconds. Oh, oh my gosh! You talk about the nick of time. Exited pit lane with 5 seconds left. Pit lane is closed. HPR coming out in 6th position. Little Mac 5th. Art Wooly 4th. Actually, Mo Paralysis currently paralyzing the roster, the rest of the field. First place with a 23-second lead. Venom, meanwhile, running in 2nd with about 3 seconds gap between himself and Roses, who is in 3rd, trying to pass Venom there for 2nd, while smelling like a bunch of roses. Wooly is trying to electrify the field, running about 0.4 of a second ahead of Little Mac, who is in 5th. Little Mac looking to undercut and knock out the competition. You know, punch out. HPR can't find a pun for you, sadly. I'm sorry. Running in 6th position, 1.3 seconds behind Little Mac, but is 2 seconds ahead of The Truth. He was sitting in 7th place right now, trying to show everyone the truth, trying to show the rest of the field the truth, and they apparently must be running from the truth. That or they can't handle the truth. Rose is pitting? Let's take a look there real quick. Hold on here. Making damage repairs, okay. So that's going to drop him from 3rd place all the way down to 9th. But we got the Turbo. The French Turbo, oui. Running in 8th position. 7/10 of a second back from your boy Carbon. And is 1.4 seconds ahead of Roses. Roses, meanwhile, is behind Turbo by now, 1.4 still. But is ahead of 10th position by 12.5 seconds. He was Buck Nasty, trying to go buck wild on the competition. 3.1 seconds ahead of Tattooed. Tattooed is trying to get a first place trophy tattooed on his arm. Meanwhile, he is trying to avoid a bucket of rusty maggots. He was running in 12th position, about 3/10 of a second back. So, pretty much, I mean, first place is in a world of their own. Second place is in a world of their own. Wooly has a lot to deal with for the likes of Little Mac and HPR. Because Wooly is less than half a second back from Little Mac, and HPR is only about 3/10 of a second back from Little Mac. So let's keep our eyes peeled here. I'm going to stay on board with Little Mac and HPR as well. I'm just going to switch back and forth between them. And is HPR going to get the run on Little Mac? Let's hop on board here and see what is going to happen. Alright. Getting a really good exit. It's going to try and go on the inside of Little Mac. They are side by side, ladies and gents. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And, oh, Little Mac getting out, going outside. That allows HPR to move up into that 4th position. He is now hunting down Art Woolley for the 3rd place spot. So 3rd place being Art Woolley. Little Mac now has the truth to deal with. Can he handle the truth? Can Little Mac handle the truth, or can he not? We're about to find out with only about 35 minutes left of the race. So Little Mac doing a really good job there trying to defend his 5th place position. Art Woolley, meanwhile, looks to be breaking away from HPR, running was just over 8/10 of a second. Now has dropped down to 6/10. So this is definitely one of HPR's stronger sectors of the race. So we now have 2 different battles here going on. Let's take a look. Oh, we got a battle for 7th between Carbon Boy and Roses. And let's take a look. What is Roses going to do? Roses is right on Carbon Boy's heel. Is he going to try and pass them? Carbon Boy looks to be defending the inside of the line. Apex Rose is setting a blistering 153.045. Folks, I think I see a 152 coming up. With a lot of these drivers on softer tires, definitely can see it happening. Carbon Boy, meanwhile, defending that inside line, doing a really, really good job at it. Little Mac, meanwhile, did get passed by the truth, so I guess I'm not going to say it now. We still have about 34 minutes left of the race. Meanwhile, HPR is all over Wooly, who is still sitting in third position. Only about 0.2 of a second ahead of HPR. Let's see what's going to happen here. Is Wooly going to defend that inside line coming into the turn? No. Well, yeah. Yeah. Ooh, a little bit of bump and run there by HPR. Not sure what happened there. The true Little Mac. Or Little Mac the Truth. One of the two. Seems to be about about 0.8 of a second gap between the Truth and Little Mac. So it's starting to open up a little bit there. Yeah, going up to 0.9 of a second. Meanwhile, HPR Art Wooly is still battling it out for that coveted third position, one of the podium finishes of the race. Meanwhile, Venom is 152.888 by RWB Venom. What a lap. What a lap. I just didn't know we'd see it that quick. That's amazing. Well, it's also amazing, though, is we got Wooly and HPR here. Let's run on board with Wooly. As you can see, HPR trying to get that outside line, trying to overtake him, and gets the job done. Look at that move by HPR. That right there was a very smart move on his part, moving up into the third position. Meanwhile, the Truth is right behind him, running in a fifth position, about 0.3 of a second back from Wooly. Gap looks to be opening up a little bit. And let's see what happens here. 0.4, 0.4, okay. About dead even. So the Truth didn't gain any, didn't lose any, just kind of stayed, you know, right in that spot. But look at that exit that the Truth just got. Dropped the gap down to 0.3 of a second. Meanwhile, Little Mac is starting to drop back a little bit, about 1.2 seconds back from the Truth Serum. But I imagine that gap's going to be made up with this battle for fourth position, especially if they're going to start fighting. That's going to give Little Mac an opening to move not only to fifth, but maybe fourth, or dare I say, maybe even third. Let's see if we got any more battles going on here. Folks, if you are tuning in, like I said, this is GT Champions World Cup Season 4, Round 5. This is Division 2. Some of the best are racing in this division. And so far, it has been a very clean race. Really haven't seen too many incidents. It looked like if there was any kind of incidents, it was self-influenced. But, let's see. So we got a battle for 10th here between Buck Nasty and Rusty Maggots. And then Tattoo. Tattoo is sitting about 1.4 seconds back from Rusty Maggots. But this battle for 10th position has definitely heated up. It is every bit 0.4 of a second gap between Buck Nasty and Rusty Maggots. Well, let's go inside the mind of a Rusty Maggot. So, clearly there's just battles going on everywhere besides first and second. They're kind of in a world of their own. But taking a look, let's see, okay, Buck Nasty getting a little bit loose. And folks, we are now 30 minutes away from the end of the race. And my God, I have had a lot of fun. This has been a very fun race to commentate so far. It just felt like, 10 minutes ago it was the start of the race. I didn't realize we were already an hour into it. So, very exciting race here, all the way around from all of the drivers. What's going to happen here? See, this front section, or this front straight, always amuses me, because a lot of moves can be made at this first turn. Okay, really didn't gain any or lose any. Oh, hello! We got a battle for 8th position between Carbon Boy and Turbo. Wee. So Turbo currently battling it out with Carbon Boy for the 8th position. Meanwhile, we do have another battle between Little Mac and Roses for 6th, and then DeTruth and Wooly for 4th. HPR still maybe a little bit of a world in his own, or of his own. Still running about a 1.1 second gap between himself and Wooly. Venom, meanwhile, has started to gain a little bit on Mo Paralysis. Wow. I think that was almost a 9-second gain there, folks. I do believe at one point it was a 27-second gap between Mo Paralysis and Higginbot, or Venom. So taking a look here, we're going to go back into 4th position. Looks like, ooh, the Truth Serum was going to try and go to the inside line. Wooly shutting the door, preventing that pass from even happening. So let's go on board with Wooly here. We'll go to a rooftop view. Let's take a look here, see what's going on behind him with the Truth. The Truth, meanwhile, is hot on his heels. What a lap, sir. What a lap. The Truth Serum getting a really good entry there. Can he stick it with the exit? He can. He can. Good work. So Rose is kind of in a world of his own at the moment, running a 6th position. We still have that raging battle going on for 8th position between Carbon Boy and Turbo. Carbon Boy taking the inside line, is going to try and close the door. He did, and is now gaining on Little Mac. So we're about to have a 3-way fight for 7th position, folks. Turbo trying to go to the inside line. Carbon Boy shutting the door. Still a very heated battle going on. Kind of like this one here. The Truth going to the inside line, passing Wooly for 4th position. Just caught the very end of it, folks. HPR still running 3rd. 1.3 second gap between HPR and the Truth Serum for that 3rd position. Art Wooly not giving up though. He's going to try to take that inside line. Is it going to work? I don't know, because these cameras don't seem to be cooperating. It did not work, but Art Wooly is right on his tail. And we're running along with the Truth Serum here at the moment. Trying to see how this battle is going to shape out. The Truth doing a really good job there, shifting it early, getting all that torque, allowing him to make that exit. Meanwhile, still, I mean, he lost a little bit of time to HPR, not gonna lie. He's about, lost about 0.3 of a second. Now 0.4. Let's go out to this wonderful camera angle, camera view. Ooh, Rose is getting into the grass there in the very back. Still sticking it, which is good. Wooly tried to go to the inside. Didn't seem to work there. And do we know what we got going on here? Ha! Now we are on board with Wooly trying. And the truth does seem to be opening up a little bit of a gap, but it's now starting to lose it just so slightly. Looks not losing too much time. But I tell you what, he's starting to gain on HPR for that third position. We may have a 3-car battle here for third. Maybe a 4-car battle between HPR, the Truth, Wooly, and Roses. Rose is setting another fast lap, 152.754. That fastest lap has got him smelling like a bouquet of roses. So we'll go up to the front view here of the Truth's car. Lost a little bit of time there to HPR and did lose a little bit of time to Wooly. Lost about every bit, a tenth to 2/10 of a second. What do we got going on here? Okay. Now, what I'm curious to see, while they're still battling it out, I'm going to look at the gap between Venom and Mo Paralysis. So Venom so far has gained just about 2 seconds on Mo Paralysis. Still remaining 16 seconds ahead of third position, which is HPR 82. We look to have a little bit of a heated battle, you know, starting to brew. 7th position between Little Mac Turbo and Carbon Boy. Rusty Magus Apex, still pretty separated. You know, a good bit, about 1.4 seconds between Rusty Magus Tattoo. And wait, what happened? Mode Paralysis? Oh no. Uh-oh. Something had happened to Venom. Sounds to me like he's got engine damage. Going around the track awfully slow. That's the last thing you folks want to see, you know, if you're in this race, or actually have happened to you. So that's going to put HPR in 2nd position, about 18 seconds back from Mo Paralysis. Mo Paralysis still doing a really good job there, still maintaining constant 154s. But, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-car battle for 2nd place. And here's another interesting thing. HPR is, looks to me like it's starting to gain on Mo Paralysis. Folks, we only have 20 minutes left of this race. So, Mo Paralysis going into pit. So what is that going to mean? Let's see. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Alright, making repairs. That's going to drop them down to every bit 5th position. So HPR is now in 1st with The Truth 2nd, Roses 3rd, Wooly 4th, Mo Paralysis 5th, Little Mac 6th, Turbo 7th, Carbon Boy 8th, Venom 9th, soon to drop down there, to be honest with you, with Rusty Maggots passing him for Ninth position, Apex passing them. And then we have Venom. I have a feeling we lost somebody. Buck Nasty. We lost Buck Nasty. That is odd. Oh my lord. Alright, I'm gonna need a couple minutes here, because I have a feeling we're gonna have a very exciting end to the race. With 1, 2, 3, 4 cars battling it out for first position. Apex Roses, let's go on board with him. Looks to me like he might try to make a move. Let's gonna take a quick break here. But this is getting interesting. Okay, so Roses about 3/10, maybe 4, 5. So about 3 to 4/10 back from the Truth Serum for second position. Is anything gonna happen here? Flashing the lights. Oh. Interesting. Ooh, Rose is going wide, going wide, going wide. Don't spin. There you go. Good job. Did not manage to get past Serum. But oh, look at that. Manages to get past Serum there. Taking the inside line. And is going to block said inside. Let's go on board. Ooh, look at that. Little bit of bumping there between Roses and the Truth. Wooly now getting into the mix. So the Truth is going to be in second position now. HPR is still holding first with about a 1.7 second gap between himself and the Truth. Now I'm curious to see this because Mo Paralysis had come into pit for damage and is now dropped into 5th. Little Mac's right behind him, as well as Turbo. Mo Paralysis, ooh, going wide, not really getting that good of an exit. Little Mac is pretty much going to be side by side. Let's see what happens here. Take a look at Little Mac and ooh, inside line. Mo Paralysis doing a great job leading this train of cars of Little Mac, Turbo, and Carbon Boy. 4-car battle for 5th position. 4-car battle for 1st. Mo Paralysis catches the curb, taps. I think it was Little Mac. Got way loose. Oh no. Okay. Hopefully no damage was done to these cars. Alright, so I'm going to take a very quick break here. We do have 15 minutes left of the race. And I'm just going to keep an eye on the whole field here and see how everything plays out. So I will be back in just a couple of minutes, folks. Alright folks, and we are back here with 11 minutes to go in the race. We have HPR still sitting in first place with 2.1 second gap between himself and Roses. Roses has actually managed to pull away from the Truth. I don't know if you guys have caught it in the live stream, but Roses making a brilliant move on the Truth Serum on the inside, taking that second position. Now sitting a second and a half ahead of the Truth and gaining on HPR by every bit half a second, if not more. The Truth, meanwhile, has Wooly to deal with. That is the battle for third position. Buck Nasty has officially left the room. Wooly is about 0.6 of a second back from the Truth. And meanwhile, Turbo is 11 seconds back, so we seem to have two different groups, or three different groups racing each other, perhaps. Battle for fifth here between Turbo, Carbon Boy, and Little Mac. And then Mo Paralysis is running in 8th position. Actually looks to me like it's getting involved in that battle for 5th. Rusty Maggots, meanwhile, in a battle with Apex Tattooed for 9th. And then Venom, after that horrific accident, having to repair the vehicle, has went from 2nd to 11th, unfortunately. That is just the nature of the beast when it comes to these 90-minute endurance races at the World Cup. Because like I said, you have heavy damage, 90-minute endurance, only allow 2 sets of tires, can only fuel up once. So, a lot of things can make or break you. HPR, when making that brilliant move, right at the end of that pit window, clearly has helped him. He is sitting in first place now. He's about 0.7 of a second ahead of Roses, but that is dropping real quick. Roses is now half a second behind HPR, and Roses has opened up the gap between himself and the Truth Serum to about a 2.5 second gap. So let's ride on board with, let's see, who should we ride on board with? Let's ride on board with HPR. Let's get a rear view look here, see what Roses is trying to conjure up. With now almost 8 minutes to go, or just over 8 minutes left of the race. So they have roughly about 4 to 5 laps. So Roses needs to try and make a move here if he wants to end up in first position. Getting a little bit of a left tap there to HPR. He's going to go to the inside, and it is not going to work. But Apex Roses is right on HPR's slipstream. So I'm going to look and see if Apex is going to try any kind of move on HPR. Let's take a look. No, still playing it pretty conservatively. Not a bad move though. Oh. Could it be? Could it be? Apex Roses has taken the lead with just under 7.5 minutes to go in the race, folks. This is going to get interesting. HPR trying to make some kind of move, trying to do something to catch up to Roses. Roses, meanwhile, is going to be just about 0.7 of a second ahead of HPR in first position. The Truth, Wooly, they are now separated. Turbo is now separated from Carbon Boy. Carbon Boy is separated from her Paralysis. Little Mac is now separated. Everyone seems to be separated. Tattooed, something had happened to him at the first corner. Not sure what happened there. Roses, meanwhile, is starting to open up that gap to 1.1 seconds between himself and HPR. Oh my lord. Rose is still 2.5 ahead of HPR. HPR about 1.2 seconds ahead of the Truth Serum. The Truth Serum 1.6 seconds ahead of Wooly. Wooly is 11.4 seconds ahead of Turbo. So the gap certainly... Ooh, something must happen to Little Mac. Little Mac has now dropped into 9th position. Meanwhile, Apex Rose is out here smelling like a bunch of roses. Sitting in first position with just under 6 minutes left to go in the race, folks. We are in for a heck of an ending to this race. This race has been very exciting all 86 and a half minutes. So HPR is starting to... I'm wondering if HPR maybe ran the tires, or ran his car a little too hard there, has put the soft tires up. He's definitely dropping back from Roses. There was about a 2.1 second gap between Roses and HPR. That gap looks to me like it's going to increase. Yep, 2.3, 2.2. Okay. But the Truth is now on HPR's heels here with about 0.6 of a second, 0.7 of a second gap between himself and HPR. So we're going to take a look here, folks. We're going to see how this is all going to play out. HPR going a little bit wide there. The Truth is going to try to go to the inside, try to gain a little bit of time on HPR. Is still in that 0.6 of a second range. Let's take a look here. Go to the inside, and okay. The Truth is clearly in HPR slipstream with about a 0.3 of a second gap. Seems to be closing. What's going to happen here at this first turn? Is the Truth going to try and show HPR the truth, or is he just going to lay back for a little bit? Looks to me like he's going to lay back, so that is good. Folks, we are at the 1 hour 26 minute mark, so we do have officially 3.5 minutes to go in this race. So if I was a betting man, I'd say this next lap will be the final one of the race. Little Mac coming in for repairs. That's going to drop it down into 11th. Apex Roses, meanwhile, is still sitting in first place with a 2.7 second gap. HPR, the Truth, separated by 0.7 of a second. Wooly, meanwhile, still sitting in fourth, with a 3-second gap between himself and the Truth, and 11-second gap between himself and Turbo. Turbo is still sitting in that top 5 position after having the incident, you know, in the early stages of the race. Has made a very nice recovery back into 5th. Carbon Boy is still in 6th. Mo Paralysis is now in 7th. Rusty Maggot's 8th. Venom 9th. Tattooed 10th. Little Mac 11th. Looks to me like Little Mac has retired from the race. HPR, the Truth. Ooh, we got a battle here. The Truth going to the inside, taking second place. And this looks to be the penultimate lap. So I was wrong. So we have this lap, and then one more. Apex Roses with a 4.3 second gap between himself and the Truth. The Truth is pulling away from HPR. Is now 1.2 seconds ahead. Wooly still in 4th, Turbo 5th, Carbon 6th. Everybody is now spaced out. There are no battles going on at the moment. Roses with a 4.9 second gap looks to be increasing to 5 seconds, so he has got a cushion. This is officially his race to lose. The Truth now has a good cushion between himself and HPR with a 2.4 second gap. HPR is about 6 seconds ahead of Wooly. Wooly is now 6 seconds ahead of Turbo. I believe Wooly may have had an incident. Because I do believe he had an 11-second gap on Turbo. Yep, that gap seems to be dropping, so something is wrong with Wooly's car. I don't know if it's out of fuel, if there's damage. That is not a good sign. Ladies and gents, this is the last lap of race number 5, season 4 of GT Champions World Cup. Wooly will finish in 4th, Turbo 5th. Carbon Boy 6th, Mo Paralysis 7th. Rusty Magus looks to be finishing in 8th. Venom in 9th. Tat in 10th. Little Mac in 11th. Ladies and gents, all eyes are on Roses. Roses having a very consistent race, a very good race actually. Coming around to the final sector of the track with a 4.5 second lead on The Truth Serum and HPR 82. Apex Rose is getting a little bit into the grass. Let's see what's going to happen. Probably not a lot's going to happen. If I was Roses, I would kind of take it easy around this last sector of the track. With a 3.1 second gap, it's starting to close. Why is it starting to close already? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what a race. Apex Rose is coming across the line in 1st. The Truth 2nd. HPR will be coming home in 3rd. Roses coming out the gate strong and finishing smelling like a bunch of roses, ladies and gents. HPR crossing the line for 3rd position. Oh my gosh. What a race. What a race. I am legit smiling from ear to ear because this was an exciting race to watch and broadcast and commentate. Roses bringing the win home, bringing the Apex Racing team a much deserved win here at Autopolis for the GT World Champion or GT Champions World Cup Season 4 Round 5. What a way to end the race. There you have it, folks. Apex Roses with the win. Finished first, or I forget where they started, but alright. Let's see if we can get these folks in here for an interview. I gotta have an interview. So it was Roses, HPR, and a Truth. So let's do this. Interview. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and make a party chat here with the folks. So what we'll do, let's type this in. So I know I've got Roses in here somewhere. Where are you? Oh, alright, so player profile, TTV, okay. So TTV. Alright, well, we're gonna have a chat here with Roses. So see if I can find him real quick. Let's have a party with him. Oh, Roses. Can we get them on here, ladies and gents? Okay, I guess not. Alright, looks like we're not able to get any kind of interviews. But there you have it, folks. And what a race it was. What a race. It was just just what a job by everybody. It was a clean race. It was fun, exciting. Again, I do want to thank our sponsors, DG, RWB High Pre. Who else am I thinking? Metropolis, Pride at the Dragon. But most importantly, I want to thank all the drivers that have come in to race in this series. Without you guys participating, GTC would not exist. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. I should be back next week to stream, looks to be Catalunya. So I hope to see you guys there. Everybody have a good night, have a good afternoon, or a good morning, depending on where you're at. And we'll see you next week, folks.